What is up, YouTube? Back from a YouTube video, and today we're here with a K1 Crew Quarters Legend Lost Sector guide for Season of the Witch. Now, to find this, you're going to want to go to your Destinations tab and go to the lower right side at the moon, and then spawn in at Sanctuary, or you can spawn in at Sorrow's Harbor and make your way towards it. However, I'm going to go from Sanctuary because I think it's easier. Now, all you got to do is go straight to your left, and you're just going to follow this path. It's pretty simple. The game's pretty much going to guide you straight to it. But as you make your way here, just keep following this. Now you're going to enter the new portion of the map. Just give it a couple seconds. Okay, I guess we entered it and just never popped up, but Archer's Line, you can see that's where I'm at right now. And you're just going to want to make your way past all this little space station stuff here. And you're going to go to the right here. And then when you enter this area, we're going to see if it pops up here or if it's not. But it should tell you that you're going to be in a new area. There we go, Hellmouth. Now when you enter here, all you gotta do is go to your right, and then there's going to be like this little ramp formation with these rocks. Hit that, and then make your way back here. You will see the Lost Sector icon, as you can see behind there. But if you don't see this little flag here or the icon on your map here, it doesn't mean you have to complete it normally. So go straight inside here, then drop, and then you'll be faced with this open area here that we're about to enter. And then all you gotta do is keep doing these jumps. And then as you can see, right here is where you're gonna enter the Lost Sector. It's gonna say K1 Crew Quarters. And then as you go here, you're gonna see some red health bar enemies. Kill all the enemies, make your way all the way through up there. Then kill the boss and loot the chest at the end, and you will unlock Legend and Master difficulty for these Lost Sectors. So now what I'm going to do is run back up here, and then we're going to go over the modifiers that we have active for today's Lost Sector. And I do want to note that if you're hearing any noise in the background, most likely it's the AC. It was raining earlier, so there's like water dripping on top of my AC and it's hitting it. So if you hear that, like a tapping noise, just know that that's what that is. But when we get into the modifiers, we have shielded foes. You'll face combatants with solar shields. Legend modifiers are a locked loadout and extra shields. Equipment locked, limited revives, barrier and overload champions. Arc threat, a 25% increase to incoming arc damage. And we have hot knife. Shanks now have solar shields. Overcharged weapons. Weapon overcharges from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Strand Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage. Then Arc Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing arc damage. Then Overcharged Glaive, 25% bonus to glaive damage. Now, if completed solo, Exotic Arms Armor is rare, so if you're looking for the new exotics, you can get it from today's Lost Sector. Then Enhancement Cores are uncommon, and recommended power is 1830, but 1810 and above, you should be just fine. So let's get into the loadout. Now getting into the loadout, we have the exact same loadout as yesterday. You can see we got Strand subclass, and we got Silk Strike with Marksman Dodge, Triple Jump, Threaded Spike, and Threadling Grenades. Then we have Widow Silk and Threaded Spectre with Thread of Generation, Thread of Evolution, Thread of Binding, and Thread of Continuity. Then we have this Strand Auto Rifle, and again, it doesn't have to specifically be this one. It helps because it's a crafted roll, and it's from seasonal content, so you can get the pattern and then make your god roll or whatever roll you want. If you want something that's a little more RNG and it's not tied to seasonal content, Old Sterling is something that drops. However, don't quote me on the RNG chances and stuff like that, because I simply don't know what's the best place of getting this and stuff like that. I just happen to have 2 rolls of it, so that's one option you can have. Or you can just throw in a kinetic auto rifle. That way it's still going to take advantage of a damage buff, because when you use a strand or arc subclass, your kinetic weapons will do increased damage. So something like Duty Bound would be a great option as well. But getting back into it, we're using a Strand Auto Rifle because of the Strand Burn. It's going to do increased damage, and we're also going to have Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle to break those barrier shields. Now, for the secondary, we're running Le Monarch, and this is my go-to for Overload Champions. Void Bow, and it has these corrosive/poisonous arrows that when you hit an enemy crit, it'll, if it's like a mini-boss or something, it'll have like a debuff on it where it will do like a little corrosive ticks of damage. And if it's a red health bar, you'll pretty much get the kill, and it can spread to other red health bar enemies, causing, multiple kills with one arrow. So that's why I'm running this. It's really good for long range, and for Overload Champions, I think it works just fine. Now, when it comes to the heavy slot, we're running Circular Logic. Now this is a Strand LMG, and in my opinion, it's pretty much the only heavy that I have here that's worth running, at least as of right now. If you know other options, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. But I love this because you can carry a lot of extra heavy ammo with you. You can have up to 300 rounds, and then you can literally use hatchling to do increased damage when shooting crits on bosses or champions. You can do some damage with that. We're taking advantage of the Strand burn, and then you can always, get more to spawn by other means of heavy, whether it's using abilities or using tangles and stuff like that. Getting heavy ammo should be no problem, but you can see Circular Logic just to have a lot of heavy in our reserve and everything like that. Now when it comes to the armor, for the helmet we have Ashes to Assets. You gain bonus super energy on grenade kills, Strand Siphon, Void Siphon, and Strand Siphon again. Strand Siphon is rapid Strand weapon final blows, create orbs of power, and Void Siphon is rapid Void weapon final blows, create orbs of power. Then we have an extra Strand Siphon mod. And just to explain this, so you can see I have Harmonic Siphon. So this is going to match whatever element you have on. So for example, as you can see, I got Strand subclass. It's going to give me Strand Siphon. If I switch over to Void, it's going to give me Void Siphon, as you can see right here. If I switch to Stasis, I'll have Stasis Siphon. So you can see it's just going to match everything. But for the dual siphon mod here, this is a seasonal artifact mod. So you can see Void/Strand dual siphon. This allows you to have 2 in one slot instead of just having 1 in each slot. And we're pretty much pairing this because Strand Siphon, these both are going to increase the potency of orbs that we can generate. So for example, if I'm using my auto rifle or my LMG to get a lot of kills, I have more chances to spawn more orbs with this compared to the Void Bow. So that's why we're running Strand Siphon mods like that. Now when it comes to the arms, we have Firepower. Your grenade final blows create orbs of power, and then Grenade Kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. Additionally, your armor charge is consumed and you gain additional grenade energy for each stack. Then you have Fastball, which increases grenade throw distance. And just to show you, I say this every day, but for me, Fastball isn't that important. You can see it doesn't really matter where we throw our grenades because the threadling grenades are going to chase enemies regardless. But it's just one option that I had that I decided to throw on. Then for the chest piece, we are running our damage resistant mods, and you can see we have 2 arc and 1 solar. Now you can change this however you want. I recommend running the 2 arc and just doing either solar or arc, whatever, void. There is pretty much damage of each type. There is no stasis damage, so don't worry about that. But the void or arc or solar is completely up to you. But just know I did it with 2 arc and 1 solar. But that's going to do it for the chest piece. Now for the legs, you're going to see Star Eater Scales. Now this is the exotic that I've been running the last couple days. And the main advantage of this is the Feast of Light exotic perk. You can see it says pick up orbs of power to overcharge your super. And it's called Feast of Light. Now how this is going to work is you're going to do your average gameplay loop of just trying to fill up your super bar. But once you fill up that bar, you can then pick up 4 extra orbs to get Feast of Light times 4. That's going to grant you maximum just super damage whenever you decide to use your super. So we're going to pair that with Silk Strike, which already does great damage. And then on the leg armor, we have these mods. Better Already, your health begins to regenerate immediately after picking up an Orb of Power. And then Strand Weapon Surge, which is your strand weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. And then Void Weapon Surge, which is the same thing, but just for void weapons. And just to break this down, you can see Better Already is going to heal us when we pick up an Orb of Power. Since we're doing a Lost Sector, a lot of the enemies have a burn and they're, a fixed level, so they're going to be higher levels than us, so they're going to be doing a lot of damage. Just in case if we need it, just because we're going to be picking up orbs anyway, might as well get a little healing from it. And remember, we're generating orbs by getting kills with our strand or our void weapons. And you can see a strand weapon, void weapon, and strand weapon. So no matter what weapon we use, we're generating orbs on multi-kills. Then we're also going to use these orbs not only to heal ourselves, to charge our super, but then overcharge our super to use Feast of Light. And then when we pick up those orbs, we're going to get a weapon surge for our strand and void weapons. And again, strand auto rifle, void bow, and strand LMG. So no matter what gun we use, it's going to have a weapon surge, which is going to do a little bit of increased damage. Very useful when it comes to stunning the overload champions and the barrier champions, because you're doing a little extra more damage. So it's very easy to just, kind of do a lot of damage and not have to worry too much about how to activate it, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is picking up an orb. Then for the cloak, we have 2 time dilation mods. Your decaying armor charge has longer duration. And then we have Bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. I just like to use my grenades a lot, the throttling grenades, that way they can go and just seek out enemies for me. However, another good thing about this setup is we have the decoy for our class ability. That's very useful because let's say the boss is behind a wall or something and you want to get a better vantage point or a better place where you can shoot some damage at him. You can go put the decoy down in a certain angle where the boss will be showing like a crit or something. You can go throw that down and then reposition and hit crits. You're going to see me reposition all the time using the decoy. That way, one, not only does it save you from dying, that way the enemies turn their focus to that, but you can also use it to do good damage without, very little risk involved when it comes to taking damage. So that's why I love using Bomber on the cloak. But when it comes to the seasonal artifact, this is everything you need in order to kind of, follow this. So you're going to need anti-barrier auto rifle, so you can use the barrier champion rounds to break the barrier shields. Then you need Void / Strand dual siphon combo, which is going to combine the Void and Strand siphon mods into one. Then Origin perk specialization 1, because it's going to improve the benefits provided by nanotech tracer rockets. And just to show you, this is the Origin perk, as you can see right underneath hatchling and above backup mag. It says nanotech tracer rockets. Landing multiple hits turns your next shot into a homing rocket. It's not anything crazy, but it's just a nice thing to have since we are going to be using circular logic. Then we have the Tangles artifact perk in the 3rd slot here. And a Strand Weapon Final Blow has a chance to generate a Tangle. So remember, we're using 2 Strand Weapons. The odds of us generating Tangles is very likely. So we're going to have some bonuses when we generate a Tangle by pairing this with refreshing pickups. Picking up a Tangle or Elemental Orb grants energy to your least powered ability. Then we have Elemental Munitions, which is combatant final blows with Tangles or Elemental Orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. So again, the special ammo is going to be really useless here because we're not using a special weapon, but if we do get heavy ammo, that's a plus because we can increase, how much heavy we have. That way we're dealing more damage and we can use more heavy ammo. Then we have Elemental Fury, which is while stunned, champions take bonus damage from your abilities and Elemental Orb damage. And I remember, I'm only 11 out of 12, so feel free to just throw on another one. To be honest, really doesn't matter which one, just something that you find useful, and that's pretty much going to do it for this loadout. So now that we went over the loadout, let's get straight into the gameplay. So now we're spawning into the Lost Sector, as you can see, and right off the bat, you're going to start off in this pretty annoying room, in my opinion. You can see they're going to have a lot of red hellfire enemies. Nothing too crazy. They're all pretty easy to kill. At most, a 2-shot headshot is what you're going to have to deal with here with the Vandals. But you can see with Le Monarch, it's very easy to kind of crowd control with it. Just know that you do have the decoy, you do have your throttling grenades. If it gets a little too hectic, you can, use that as well as your melee. But make sure you're picking up any orbs that you're generating so you can get those armor charges and have that void weapon boost for this overload champion. This is the guy that's going to give you the most problems. You can see I'm going to stun, use my LMG, and then there is some shanks over there, and I do not want to take too much damage from them, so I'm going to try to get the stun off and get that going. Shred this overload champion real quick, get it finished off, and then worry about these 2 shanks. You can see they actually almost killed me. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to throw a decoy down because I don't want to die right now. And I'm just going to use the Monarch. Then after you do that, that's the first room done in pretty much a minute. Now you can move on, and again, make sure you're picking up orbs. And you're going to have these explosive shanks. Just don't fall for it, don't get blown up by them. And then you can move on to the second room. Just make sure you're picking up any orbs that are on the ground. Don't leave any heavy ammo that may have spawned in. But you can see I'm going to go with this. And I tried to get a Tangle kill, but the Tangle didn't really target the AI like I wanted it to. It just straight up went to the floor. But watch out for this cave here on the left. And you can jump to the top right. That's usually what I do, but I just try to change it up this time. And I was just shooting enemies on the left here with Le Monarch. And you can see it's very easy as you hit your shots, unlike me where I'm struggling right now. But you can see explosive shanks, watch out for those, but you're going to have this barrier champion. Now, I recommend getting rid of as many red hellfire enemies as you can before dealing with the champion, because if you let the whole room pretty much stay alive and then you try to deal with the barrier champion, it's going to get annoying because he's going to have like 20 enemies that are going to be immune, and then you're trying to do damage and then you're getting shot at by 20 different enemies. So you can see here, I felt somewhat able that I can get it done. I was okay, I can manage this, and then I started seeing explosive shanks. I was getting shot at by everything. You'll get sniped from the back of the room by those Vandal snipers that are posted up. So I was just trying to do some more ad clear before I actually decided to shoot at the servitor champion. You can see I couldn't jump on that ledge to save my life. So now that I've made it up top, I was just going to use Le Monarch to kind of do those corrosive, poisonous tick damage. And I saw this guy in front of me, and you can see here's the sniper shooting at me. And again, I saw that I had a chance to kill these AI, so I was like, screw it, let's go for it. Then you can see as soon as I start shooting at the AI, he makes them immune, so he's just doing this on purpose. But now you can see I'm doing some tick damage. I see his health's getting a little low. Switch over to my auto rifle, break the shield, and then use my LMG here. And again, just be very careful from the back of the room. You can see those snipers. Try to use the cover as you push up like I'm doing here. But just finish him off with a finisher so you don't have to waste too much heavy ammo. And now you can pretty much move freely across this room towards the back where these snipers are. There you can see the overload, but I'm not going to worry too much about it yet because there is snipers back here and just regular red health bar enemies. But there's also sniper shanks to our right. And I want to get rid of those shanks first before I go for the overload. And you're going to see why in a couple seconds because they do try to snipe you and do big damage. So you do want to take them out first. So you can see I actually almost died. But those two sniper shanks, get rid of them. They're very annoying. And now that I've gotten rid of those, you can see it looked clear and then randomly more red health bar enemies decided to spawn. Like I can tell you while I was recording this, I was like, where did these guys come from? Were they all just hiding in there? So I was like trying not to just rage right there, but we went and thankfully I was able to get the second stun off because I didn't want to reload right in front of the overload champion. Then I get the finisher and we can move on from this room. Now that we've cleared this out, all you have to do is go behind you where the sniper shanks were at. Here you can see for whatever reason I was about to just jump off and then I remembered that's not where I'm supposed to go. Go this way and then jump on these kind of cliffs or edges, whatever they're called. And you're gonna have a bunch of shanks up here as well as a barrier champion. And just feel free to take your time here. You can see I had a tangle, shot the tangle, got some heavy to spawn, so that was great. Always a great time when you get a tangle kill and you can get some heavy to drop. And then I'm just trying to get rid of some red health bar enemies, that way he can't make any more enemies immune. And then I decided to put my decoy down and run to this spot and just kind of do some tick damage. That way I can get some free crits here. And feel free to use your LMG, to be honest. I was just using the bow because I wanted to save some LMG ammo. I get the stun, throw my throwing grenades, that way I can kind of deal with the ads, but it really wasn't that helpful, to be honest. The throwings, for whatever reason, targeted the servitor and not the ads. So that's the one downside of not controlling where you get to, you know, hit the enemies from. But you can see I get the stun again and just use my LMG here. And then I decide, you know what, there's some heavy on the ground. Let me just use this to either do damage to the boss or kill some red health bar enemies. And you can see, besides them running away from me, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go shoot the boss right now. So I took advantage of this little spot right here. I was hitting crits. The nanotech tracer rockets were doing their thing. Throwing grenades, using my melee. Pick up this heavy. Pick up these orbs so I can get the strand weapon surge. I left an orb for whatever reason back there. I don't know why. But now I'm using my void damage here because I'm trying to spawn in this servitor that's going to spawn from the back. You can see him right there. After you do a certain amount of damage, it's going to spawn in. And then I'm just doing some tick damage. It gets a little dicey here, I'm not going to lie, just with how much damage I'm taking from everything. And I'm also at the same time trying to keep track of where the nightmare enemy is at that's going to drop the unstable essence so I can do increased damage to the boss. You can see he's right here in front of me. So I'm just trying to ignore him. I wasn't able to get the stun and, you know, get the cleanest kill on the champion. You can see he did get health back. And at the same time, I'm getting shot at from this corner. So I was trying to play it safe here. And I knew he was going to end up bringing his shield out soon. So I was just readying my gun. You can see I timed it. And then threw some nades. Knew that he had to be low. Got rid of the servitor. And once I got rid of the servitor, I knew it was pretty much free right here. I was like, okay, this is done. I just went, threw my decoy down. Made my way to the Nightmare Drag and just kind of focused on it with heavy ammo, as you can see. Did enough damage where I got the kill. Pick up that red orb for the unstable essence. Then you have it for like 15 seconds. And then you can see the targeting with the Silk Strike became a little iffy because he went off to my side behind me here and I missed a couple shots. But I was still able to do a decent amount of damage, get the kill, and get the AI around it. Just be careful for that. And then that's pretty much it. Pretty easy in my opinion. If you need the new exotics, today is definitely a day that I would farm to get this done. But if you found this guide useful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. ring the bell so you don't miss another video. Drop a follow on my Twitch, twitch.tv/MonkeyCM0. I go live Monday to Fridays, preferably always in the afternoon, but we'll see. I will be going live later on today, like 8 p.m. my time. So if you want, stick around, have fun. It's always a good time. But a playlist with all my Destiny 2 Season of the Witch Legend Lost Sector guides will be popping up on screen now. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.